finally, this awful unlocking method is gone skis. Newer players, this is a fantastic update that's going to be coming up for you. We got the announcement of the official start date of the final Divine Fest, and we got confirmation that this DC or Dragon Collector milestone thing, the upgrades that you get for the elements, like the level, or yeah, the masteries, I should say, they are being scrapped and it is going back to the old system. This is huge because especially for people that have divines, one big thing that was stopping them from making a dungeon team was the fact that they needed to get all the way up to 14.5k or 15.5k to actually be able to make a team. You don't need to anymore. We're going back to the old player level system. So player level is actually important again. That is a really, really good change for new players. So thank goodness Gameloft, you reverted your awful change. I have not been as happy in so long for the newer players. Anyway, that is just one part of the new update things that we got announced today, because we got this image. The last Divine event has been announced. We've got a special treasure hunt event coming, and we also have the new extended castles, which I did post about before, but it's essentially just castle events with leaderboards. But another really good thing is they've also reverted the castle event changes from last time. So it's very, very huge, or it seems huge, but all that they're actually doing is just undoing a set of mistakes, it feels like. But we will go through this. And they did also answer some questions in the question time channel in the DML Discord server. But before we get into these specific screenshots, apart from this one here, I wanted to point out that they said masteries have been removed from Dragon Collector score rewards. Now you'll only need to reach level 6 Academy and unlock it through the usual training process. So it's a full confirmation that Dragon Collector score doesn't really matter for this sort of stuff anymore, which is fantastic. But anyway, the update changelog, which is coming out, did come out this morning, and it was confirmed that the Divine event is starting on the 8th of August. So we've got like a mini break between the treasure hunt event and this event starting, but it did say we're nearly ready to release our latest update into the game, adding in a few new features or changes. But we will be getting the schedule for the Divine event very, very soon as well. So stay tuned for that. So they said, yep, it's here. The Divine event is starting on the 8th of August, blah, 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 blah. They didn't really say anything else about that at this time. A special hunt will also be adding in the content for a new one-off treasure hunt event. Keep an eye out for more info in the coming weeks. But they did confirm that it's mainly just primals that are coming in this. Like there's no divines or anything like that coming in this special hunt. We've got castle events extended, which are castle events just with the leaderboards. We've already confirmed the details of this in a video over on Facebook, but this update will add a new feature into the game ahead of the Ultimate Party starting in August. The only real difference with this is it's just you finish the castle event and then you just replay levels like we do in solo events now, and you've got the chance of getting a few rewards or a badge. It's really nothing really very interesting, but I mean, considering the fact they've actually made other changes, I don't mind this anymore. If this would have been the only change that they implemented, just adding leaderboards, I would have been really annoyed. And I was, until we got the announcement today. So I take back my post on YouTube earlier in the community tab saying, like, are they trying to make us hate this? No, they actually did revert the bad stuff, it seems. So I take that part back. But then we move on to player level changes. As part of a bit of tidying up, we've reverted a previous change, and now elements are unlocked when you reach certain levels, rather than a required number of Dragon Collector score. We've also tweaked the level up screen to make it more visually exciting. I mean, that's not very exciting, but I mean, max level players have been wanting some actual level up rewards for a long time. Can you make it look a bit more exciting than just visually? Actually give some cool stuff? That would be lovely. But we also got some more details about their changes to the Premium Pass. Now this I don't really like. And I will go through this, but essentially it's putting an extra cost on the dragonmaster, or the Premium Pass, I should say, but they're not really adding anything in exchange for the cost. Anyway, let's go through it. We've added an extra tier to the premium pass, which will give players the option to pay a bit more and receive some additional season points, perfect for those who are in a hurry to earn those season pass rewards. So what this actually means is, if you're really bad at the game, or if you never log in, then you have a chance to purchase your way through it. It's a bad idea, but I mean, if they're going to try and get money out of anyone, it would be out of people that are either lazy or they don't know what they're doing. Now when purchasing the Premium Pass, players will have the option to choose either the Premium Pass or the new Premium Pass Plus. It's the same Premium Pass, except it comes preloaded with season points to give you an early start on the rewards. Don't worry if you decide not to purchase the Premium Pass Plus right away. The booster upgrades are available that can be purchased for additional season points. Purchasing either the Premium Pass Plus or the booster upgrade will add the season points to your current total. The reason why this seems particularly bad to me is because Dragon City also has basically a Premium Pass Plus, except the Premium Pass Plus, it's very expensive, but you actually get like really good dragons out of it. In this, you're just getting some season points, so the contrast is very, very apparent. I guess if you don't really play Dragon City, it's not as obvious, but to me this is like, ugh, it's a big yikes, basically. Anyway, we've also got some bug fixes, so in addition, we've also got the following. In Cake Craze, it will now be possible to see what ingredient or recipe is due to appear after the timer has run out. I don't think this actually makes the event any better, but I guess you can pre-plan one step ahead, so I guess in a sense it's better, but I don't think this really changes anything about how bad that event is. We've upgraded the new hatchery screen to give it more sparkle. Okay, don't really care. We've tweaked the tooltip for receiving extra info on in-game features so that it matches the upgraded interface and menu elements. There's also some information on there that is actually out of date by a long time, so I hope they've changed that as well, because sometimes you click the help section and honestly it would make you a worse player, so I hope that they've actually done that properly. It's now possible to purchase a collection reward dragon for gems if you have previously unlocked the dragon. This, I think, is a good thing in the sense of if you just have the gems and you're like, why am I going to put in the effort to get this dragon again? Fine, give people the option to be able to purchase it in an easier way, so they don't have to play the event. I think this is a good thing, even though it is inherently pay to win. This, I don't mind. I think that this is good because they've already gotten the dragon before. Why would people have to play an entire event again just to get the exact same dragon? It was just very annoying. So this I'm fine with. If people want to skip that part, that's fine by me. We have fixed an issue that caused some players to not receive flying critters during events. Thank God, because that was really annoying last event. Fixed team presets in the arena so that they can now be tapped to swap. Could be interesting. The temple level up required screen will now correctly display when leveling up Zolto. That seems like a very specific bug. And fix the position of skill icons in battle so that they are now correctly displayed. Nothing major, but I guess it's a good thing. So there are quite a lot of new things coming, all things considered. We've got a useless change to the Dragonmaster pass. We have new Divine event coming, but we don't have the details yet. We have new Primal event, but we don't have the details yet. We've got useless addition to the Castle event, but the player level up changes are huge. And like I mentioned, we do have a couple of images here. Again, this one related to the level 6 academy. Again, you don't have to breed dragons to get your elements upgraded anymore. I know that it's going to suck for those of you that have just done that, but you don't have to do that now. So instead you can focus on player level ups by going through the map. It's super easy and fast to get to a higher player level, so progress for newer players should be much, much, much quicker. And then we do also have a couple of screenshots here relating to the castle events, because like I said, if the only change would have been just the fact that we had a leaderboard now, it would have annoyed me quite a lot. But that's not actually the only change, because they've reverted what they did in the horrible version last time, thank goodness. And so, is the cost of the tiles in the event still the same, is what Dan said, and the response from Adam was set back to how it was before the the last divine event. So that means that they have reverted those changes from before, and that's not the only change from last time, because we had Chloe that said, can we expect some changes to what was added to castle events last Divine Fest? And the response, well, it's good that you asked. We've reverted to the previous method of scaling percentage chance of finding the key. This is big, because I know that some people got lucky in the previous Divine event when they made this change, and some people are like, oh my god, this is so good. But I don't know if you actually saw my progress. I basically got some of the worst luck possible until the second week of Castle event, where I got the key on the final level early. Apart from that, I had to open up like every single chest in the event, and it was getting to the point with the second week's worth of castle event that if I didn't find that key super early and get very, very lucky, I would not have been able to do the event. Not because I did anything wrong, because I didn't miss any resets. It purely would have been the fact that, oh, I don't have any money. No! But it purely would have been the fact that the event was just balanced so badly. Like, they tried to parade around as if it was some good changes that they'd made, but I think, well, maybe they knew this and they ignored it on purpose, or they just overlooked it. But the thing is, with castle events, with the way that they work, you need to make progress quickly early. Because if you don't make progress early, then you don't actually get to the later tiers in the event, and you don't get to actually earn as much event currency, because that's how the castle events work. As in, when you're on the later tiers of the castle events, you get to earn more currency for every task. So the fact that they'd made the key drop so bad, in theory, if we earned the same amount of currency on every single level, it would have been fine. But that's not what it is. We earn different amounts of currency on every level. So if they'd have implemented that key percentile change, but made it so that every level we earn the same amount of currency, there wouldn't have been a problem. But that is how the event worked, and it made it literally impossible for someone that got the worst key luck possible. No matter how many, like if you logged in for 100% of resets, you had every single element available, didn't matter, because there was a chance you still can't do the event. And considering that the events last like, what, a week? And then you have to do 2 of them in the Divine events, that was like, you have to not miss a reset for 2 weeks, and even then you might still not be able to do it, which was ridiculous. It was terrible. I'm very, very happy to hear that that is no longer the case, and yes, it's on auto. This is not me playing, please, I'm not this bad at the game. But yeah, I mean, I'm incredibly happy that they've reverted the change. It never should have been implemented to begin with. So although I say, yes, we can be grateful that they undid it, at the same time, don't act like they've done something nice. Because, I mean, they've basically just undone a bad thing. So it's not like they've come up with something great and made the event better. They've just undone a massive, massive, horrible mistake. But they could have chosen to not ever undo that horrible, horrible mistake. So I am still somewhat grateful, and you know, at least it seems like in this case they've taken some of the player feedback into account. Another event that they still really need to do that for is this one, Treasure Hunt. Because, again, this time they gave us a lot more starting shovels, and we can get shovels in ads. Some of us, people on Amazon, can't, because they can't watch ads, so it sucks for them, because they just end up with a shovel deficit, again, through no fault of their own. But it still hasn't fixed Treasure Hunt, because I don't know if you've seen anything about the percentages with Treasure Hunt, but even if you hit every single reset in Treasure Hunt, there's still only, I think it's just over a 50% chance that you're gonna get to 50. And so it's essentially a 50-50 as to whether you can get your hands on the main reward dragon, Emerald Phantom. And that means that about 50% of people aren't gonna be able to get it, even if they hit every single reset. So it still sucks that at max you can only get 1 primal out of this event. Even if you log in for every single reset, you do nothing wrong. It just feels sometimes in this game you get, I guess, punished despite doing nothing wrong. In fact, most of the game feels like that. You just get punished for playing the game, which is not really how I recommend making players feel that want to play your game, but, you know, I know that they need to make money. I just think sometimes they do it in the wrong ways. But if any of these changes that I just went through with you are anything to go by, this means that we have some hope, because if they hadn't undone all of these things, it just would have been adding more crap on crap on crap, and it was getting to a really bad point. Like, all of the new event changes that they'd been implementing just felt terrible. The Dragon's Delight event, they decided to up the final milestone requirements. I don't understand why, because we still have the leaderboard to try and take part in. You know, there's been some really questionable changes recently, so seeing them actually revert some really major headaches in the game is a thumbs up from me. Obviously, I'm not the only one that plays the game, I'm not the only one that has an opinion, but changing the Dragon Collector milestones is just so huge because, again, for me, it doesn't make any difference, but for players starting on a new account that wanted to actually use divines and everything, I mean, they still had to go through the academy anyway, but then they couldn't even unlock these until way, way further down the line. This is going to be gigantic. If they can implement this update before, like the week before, and I imagine that's probably what they're doing, if they do it the week before the Divine Fest, this is going to give newer players the opportunity to actually get their divines upgraded and use them, which genuinely could make the event much easier than it is right now, because some players just, they weren't at these 14.5k milestones. Like, the only way that you could actually improve this before was by breeding. But it's like, it was just forcing an arbitrary, really long time frame on players. Even if you understood everything about the game as much as you really can, you just had to wait and breed more. It was just such a pointless, I guess, forced stop point, just like what the temples are, except with that it was particularly annoying because the reason they gave for implementing that to begin with, you may not have been around when they announced it, but the reason they actually gave for implementing this, they said, was so that then players have time to learn the game. That was their reasoning for locking the arguably most important mastery in the game behind a really pointless time frame. A really pointless breeding time frame at that. So there's not really much else that you could do to speed this up apart from purchasing the second breeding den and speeding up timers. That was the only thing that you could possibly do to speed this up. Now, if you actually understand the game, you understand how to get level ups quick, you could get all of this upgraded incredibly quickly. Like, I'm genuinely talking like a couple of weeks. You could probably have everything completely upgraded and ready on a fresh, brand new account. So, I'm really happy about that. I hope that we can see more reverting in future. I'm going to bring up another one while we're here because, again, we are on a mini streak now, Gameloft, for you making a few good decisions there. So, if anyone sees it from Gameloft, do you know what the next one is that I'm going to say that really needs to be reverted desperately and has needed it for about a year now? It's this. Everything about this needs to go. I'm not kidding. Everything about the arena, just, this needs either a complete revert or you need to fix this, because I'm fine for the most part. I mean, even though I'm in the highest tiers in the arena that you could be at all the time, because I can beat any player in the world as long as I don't get cucked by RNG. I could beat anyone, even without max level dragons. But for those that don't have max level dragons, for those that have decided to focus on a dungeon team, things like that instead, they go against opponents in this arena still to this day that they cannot beat. And sometimes it will just give you opponent after opponent after opponent that you can't beat. And there is absolutely no way to play around it. There is nothing you can do. You could do absolutely nothing wrong and you will not be able to get your chests because you can't get streaks, you can't get victories. And that's a massive problem because, again, I'm someone that can win 100% of my fights, basically, if I pay attention. Sometimes I might get destroyed, like in that instance just then, but it happens every now and then, that's fine. But for players that can't beat every single person and can't win every single battle in the highest arena league in the game, they get ruined by this arena. They can't get the enchantment materials that they need, which means they can't enchant the dragons that they need to even them out. It basically has made enchantment useless. And by that I genuinely mean it, because enchantment is basically just 2 levels instead. So why would people waste their time enchanting when they could just use some food instead to make up for it? There's not really any need to enchant dragons anymore, so a lot of players genuinely just ignore it. Like, sure, some people might do the arena fights every now and then just to get, like, clan quests or other stuff done, but they don't really care about it too much, because actually gaining the materials is just such a far-fetched thing that even if you were to collect tons of enchantment tickets, for example, even if you spent them on these chests, it would still take forever to enchant even a single divine. So a lot of players don't bother, because past the 4th star, it is just an endless thing. Like, at my level, it never stops. You constantly have to be doing the arena, and even then it's not enough. Like, when did I level up in Maroja now? It was a while ago, and just trying to get a single star upgrade on Maroja takes months. Genuinely, it takes months for me. And can you imagine for newer players what it feels like to them trying to look at it like ancient divines and upgrade them? It's unbelievable, so they don't bother doing it. So this is my very much, please change this. Triple the amount of materials that we get and it still wouldn't be enough. Or just completely undo this entire arena thing. I get that they had their reasons for changing it, because they said that it took too long before. To anyone that's not familiar with the whole schedules of how things worked out, you're probably thinking, what the heck happened? I'm making it sound like a train wreck. The arena, the handling of the arena was awful. It was terrible. From day one, basically, people complained and complained, and they said, yeah, we're gathering the data and then we're going to make some decisions. They didn't change anything. They didn't change a thing. They said that they'd fixed it, and they never actually fixed it. It's just been a problem for over a year now. And while they're willing to change some of the other events, that means that there's hope that maybe Arena at some point will actually also either be reverted or changed. I don't want to sound greedy if we're already getting some good things, but please look at this. I know that they're focusing on clans as well, which are awful. Why are there so many awful parts of this game that we keep having to revert everything to begin with? I don't know, but arena and clans are a massive problem in this game, like huge problems. They both need a complete redo, and I guess that's my throw out there. Please focus on that. Whatever, leave the map. I don't care at this point. Sigil campaign, whatever, it's not very fun, leave it. Dungeon, incredibly boring, but you can keep that for now. Please just fix the arena, and please, just fix the arena. I don't know. There's a few big problems. I did mention treasure hunt as well, but that's still also a problem. Basically, there are a lot of problems, but while they're willing to make some changes, again, I will thank them for it. I'll be grateful for it, but that doesn't mean that we're done. There's plenty more to do from here.